New at 5, questions of fairness and injustice continue following the sentencing of Lincoln County teen Haley Zank. After a night of partying, she crashed her car, killing 3 of her friends. Families of the teen victims say the 120-day sentence is unfair. Much of this outrage can be traced back to an Alford plea by Zank, meaning she did not admit to the criminal acts, but accepts punishment. And First Alert 4 Shoshana Stahl has been working and talking with legal experts to look at the plea and the seemingly light punishment here. Shoshana?
Yeah, Corey, I've been talking to family members for hours between last night and this morning. They all express anger and disappointment with that 4-month sentence. They say it's not long enough given the fact 3 kids died and another has life-altering injuries, as well as the pain and suffering for the families of those loved ones since the February 2023 accident. A legal expert tells me, in his opinion, the prosecutor went around some of these things in a very surprising way.
Take her into custody.
19-year-old Haley Zank leaving the St. Charles County Courthouse in handcuffs.
I have to balance this. Justice tempered with mercy. However, there has to be an accounting.
As she goes across the street to the county jail to serve 4 months for the crash that killed teens Caden Tyler, Emily McNeese, and Will Flickinger. That crash also left Trevor Bogart with life-altering injuries.
I'm going to suspend the execution of sentence.
That suspended sentence was for 10 years. Zank now has 5 years of probation. The sentencing assessment report from the Probation and Parole Office rated Zank as a low risk for reoffending, despite having alcohol and a cocktail of drugs in her system at the time of the accident.
Given what occurred and what the charges were, that is at the low end of sentencing.
Lawyer Peter Joy says the fact the Lincoln County prosecutor didn't make a suggestion to Judge Michael Fagris was surprising.
I'd say this, of the 3 ways it might go, is the least common.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, the decision is the judge and his alone.
Zank entered an Alford plea in April, meaning she knew there was enough evidence for conviction without admitting guilt. Lincoln County prosecuting attorney Mike Wood says normally it's not something they would accept.
But there was at least medical testimony and evidence to establish that there was a good possibility, because of the severity of the crash, that she didn't recall the incident as it occurred.
Joy says prosecutors do not have to accept an Alford plea, but will weigh that compared to how long a trial could take, the resources needed, and the potential for appeals. But if it had gone to trial, would it have changed the outcome?
The trial penalty, which is typically if you contest a matter and you go to trial, a majority of judges basically are more punitive than they would be if you enter a plea, whether it's a plea of guilty or an Alford plea.
And Corey, in some of my conversations with those family members, they say they actually would have preferred if it had gone to trial, not caring about the timeline, but wanting that accountability and that sense of justice that they say an Alford plea just doesn't give them, with her not admitting guilt. That's what they were really looking for in all this, and now are looking at other ways and other actions they can take to try to get that sense of accountability and justice to even try to move on from this.
All right, Shoshana, thank you.